Alright, this is going to be a cool video. I recently made the slightly impulsive decision to buy a Sony Watchman. For those of you who don't know, it's this tiny little TV from the 80s. That means it's a CRT TV. That's right, we did it. CRT acquired. This was on eBay for about $30. Probably because there aren't any analog stations around anymore, so this thing is functionally useless. I got it out of the packaging and put in the 4 AA batteries. That's actually not all that bad. I mean, there are definitely devices that take way more. I was kind of nervous to power this thing on. I was worried that a capacitor might blow up or something, but I turned it on and was happy to see that there was nothing wrong with it. It actually works. Alright, let's take a closer look at this thing. On the right side, you've got the on-off switch, the tuning knob, and the volume knob. These two knobs also move a physical red plastic piece on the front that show how high the volume is or what channel you're tuned to. On the left side, there's a headphone jack, insert joke about this having more features than modern phones, a DC in jack in case you don't want to run this off of batteries, a slider to choose the VHF or UHF TV band, and a video input jack. I'll try this out later. The top has the telescope antenna, and the bottom has the controls for contrast and vertical hold. If you look on the back, right above this kickstand, you can see that it was manufactured in April of 1984. So, what made this TV so special? Well, look at the size of this. TVs at the time were really bulky and heavy. There wasn't a lot of options for TVs this portable. This is really small for the technology at the time, and that's thanks to Sony's clever engineering. I'm not going to go into too much details on how CRTs work, but they basically had an electron gun that fired electrons at a phosphor, which caused it to glow. Then on the other side was you watching it. A normal TV looked like this, where the phosphor and everything stood upright. However, you couldn't make this much thinner or flatter. But some brands managed to do it. Sony was one of them, and I'd say they were the most successful. The way they did it is by having the electron gun fire at this curved phosphor. So with some complicated geometry, they were able to make a flat CRT screen. Alright, let's turn this thing on. So I have my analog transmitter turned on and set to channel 14, and I'm going to start tuning the TV with a knob on the side. And look at that, pure analog TV. You might notice that it's black and white. That's one of the limitations of this TV, but for a portable 1980s TV, I think it's worth the trade-off. The tube on this TV is in pretty good condition too. It's plenty bright. The only time it's hard to see is when you're in direct sunlight, but that's kind of been a limitation since this TV came out. There's also that video input. If I plug in this 3.5mm to composite adapter, I can feed a clean video signal to the TV. This is how we can really test it out because there's no interference due to bad reception. If I show this grid test pattern, you can really see how it gets wavy in some places and the image gets fully cut off in others. This could have been how it was from the factory, or maybe the phosphor layer is getting warped, or a capacitor's going bad, or who knows. Overall, I definitely don't regret buying this. It's my first CRT and it's a pretty unique one. Oh, there's also something I want to bring up. I have to transmit my own analog signals. I really wish the FCC didn't get rid of analog. I get that digital TV is significantly better in almost every way, but it would still be nice to have at least a few analog stations. If I do a quick channel scan by just tuning manually to every channel, there's nothing but static. There's some flickering on higher channels, but that's just because it's been sold off to cell phone carriers. I guess I'm just stuck with my little transmitter. That's pretty much it for this video. I hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.